ambivalence is a naturally uncomfortable state. Many of us try and simplify the problems we're seeing to come down on one side or the other. But of course, we've also seen that ambivalence allows us to see the world in all kinds of complex, interesting, and creative ways. And so the paradox mindset says, if you can increase people's capacity to tolerate the discomfort of ambivalence, you can derive the benefits of ambivalence, without being overwhelmed by the discomfort of it. Is that sort of summarizing the idea?
I think that is summarizing the idea beautifully, and I think it's actually still a hypothesis. I think we're still wanting to unpack, right, exactly the role that paradox mindset might have in helping people harness the benefits of ambivalence and deal with the discomfort.
So there are some situations where deliberately cultivating ambivalence can be a way of managing or limiting disappointment. Can you talk about that, sort of using ambivalence almost strategically to head off disappointment or to head off feelings of failure or setback?
Yeah, so this is this really interesting research where people, in fact, are found to cultivate ambivalence when they face uncertainty about what will happen, right? So perhaps they feel uncertain that they can obtain like a coveted job. And in order to protect their feelings, in the event that they fail to get what they want, they create mixed emotions or mixed attitudes as a self-protective strategy to buffer their feelings from failure. I have had experiences in my own life where I have done this as well.
Can you talk about them, Naomi?
Absolutely. So it's kind of a funny story, now in retrospect, right? Which is that when dating my spouse, I really wanted it to work out with him. But I was, of course, uncertain if it would, because you just never know. And I remember going on vacation with my brother's family. And while I was away for that week, I built up these very mixed feelings about my spouse. And it's obvious now to see that it was definitely a self-protective strategy in the face of possible rejection. I was preemptively protecting myself by cultivating ambivalence. And I actually think that it made both my spouse and myself think more deeply about the other person, to really see each other, to see both the positives and the negatives, and whether we were a match. And I actually would say I was accurate. He's my favorite person. And perhaps my ability to predict our match was cultivated by my emotional ambivalence.
In some ways, you did with him what you didn't do with the house in Bucks County. You by allowing yourself to engage in ambivalence, you were able to see things perhaps more clearly. And in the long run, that might have actually been an asset.
I think so, right?
I'm struck by the fact, Naomi, that your research in some ways has been inspired by events in your own life, but also you have taken the strands of your research and tried to apply it to your own life, to experiences you've gone through yourself. I'm wondering if you can tell me about the time when your mom was really sick and how you applied the insights from your own research to what your mom was going through.
Certainly. So, a year and a half into